everybody, I would like y'all to get in on some of this because this is not just knowledge; it's experience, and this experience brought understanding, which is wisdom. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to a fantastic, fabulous woman. Her name is Elizabeth Richard Adams, or I say Elizabeth Richards Adams. Her book is titled "Finding My Own Truth." Okay, and this part of the synopsis on Finding My Own Truth is Finding My Own Truth by Elizabeth Richard Adams is a deeply personal and transformative memoir that explores the journey of self-discovery, healing, and spiritual awakening. Through raw honesty and introspection, Elizabeth shares her experience of overcoming trauma, breaking generational cycles, and reclaiming her voice. And we were already having a conversation a while ago, and I mean, it was like offset. That's basically what that is, you know. And it was like, oh man, and I want y'all to get into some of this. Also, when you get a chance, I want you to go and take a look at your phones or whatever, and press for the QR code that you see on the screen, and check out her book, and you will not be disappointed, or shall I say, she will not disappoint. And when you hear what she has to share with us, woof, it's very dynamic. I mean, I've got a list of questionnaires here, and okay, list of questionnaires. That's what this is. But I love it because don't have to go any further. So I'm going to open this up because the fact that uh, 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 she is brought in, what I said, through raw honesty and introspection. She shares her experiences of overcoming trauma, breaking generational cycles, and reclaiming her voice. Now, this question, but first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get a little bit know about her. But then, matter of fact, you know what? Go ahead and share a little bit about yourself before I bring this one question up because it relates to that.
Okay. Well, my name is Elizabeth. I am
Yes.
originally from Gary, Indiana. I have been, I'm raised from out of that's 10 of us, and I'm the last child. So I literally, I'm the youngest out of a lot of us. But I moved from Gary, went to school, graduated, went to college out there. I moved from Gary and I ended up moving to Arizona with my father, me and my husband. I was married. Got married when I was like 21, 20 years old, and married a pastor. Became a first lady very young. I ended up, we had ministry out there. We did great works. God really used us in immaculate ways. Got into the teachings of the word, and from there, I ended up following my father. He came to Arizona, and we moved to Arizona and stayed out there for years. I stayed out there over 20 years. And I think for me, I felt like it was a great change for me because, we were around a lot of diversity, different people, different races. So I wanted my children to experience having bigger opportunities, having better opportunities than we did. So Arizona, what I would have to say, opened up a lot of different areas in my life. And I'm talking about from experience that I had never experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I went through so many changes of, from being a first lady to, coming into a place still, but we wasn't moving in ministry, but we still was ministering. When I say that, we wasn't in the building. We actually was just talking to people and stuff. So we still were kind of still focusing on that level of, talking and blessing people with what God had us for to do. But when I left, I ended up staying out there. Me and my husband, we part ways eventually, but we had our children, we co-parent well, and I ended up actually started working in the field out there and just enjoyed Arizona, and I stayed there over 20 years. And of course, I got married and moved to Michigan. Now I'm back in the cold.
Congratulations.
But it's a beautiful experience even being in Michigan right now. So I take everything from what it is and what I see, and I take the greatness out of it. So all of it has been a great experience and a journey for me. So.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
I was gonna say because I was looking up on this thing and I was like, yeah, I understand that. I said me from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love.
Right.
Detroit, because Detroit's a very cultural experience.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. And
very,
it
you know,
is.
or
And
say
that's one of
Michigan
the
in
things I
general.
love. Yes.
Michigan in general.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
It's crazy because I was saying, because they say Detroit is like its own state. They don't even consider it Michigan. And I've noticed that every
It
time everybody
is.
I know, they be like Detroit. I'd be like, Michigan? Oh, Michigan. They know. We're talking about
Oh,
Detroit. I'm like, it's in Michigan, right? Like, yeah, but we still consider ourselves a
yeah.
state. And I'm like, that's funny. But you're right. The culture out here
Oh,
is absolutely amazing. So one of the things I missed when I was in Arizona, I didn't have a lot of that because everybody came from everywhere. Which is a good
yes.
experience because you had people from everywhere. But I just
Mhm.
missed the culture. I missed the support, and so being
Yes.
back here reminded me of home, and that was a great experience to have that I needed. So,
Very good. Very good. Okay, now the question I have for you here, okay, is the book opens with a powerful theme of truth becoming louder than fear.
mhm.
What was the exact moment in your life when that truth finally demanded to be heard?
um, 40 years old was when I experienced my level of something not feeling right. Something was off with my connection, my spiritual connection. And even from the things that I was raised to believe, or, I just felt like I needed to find out what really connected to me. Not that I'm saying what that wasn't working for them, it just wasn't connecting right with me, right? So that
Mhm.
was moments where I found out, I started doing more things like studying, doing yoga. I went back into doing yoga again. That put me in a space where I was doing more meditation, more praying, more levels of trying to figure things out because I was so clouded up with so many things. I needed a level of something to calm me, something to calm my mind. And sometimes we could just go in life and we don't have a level of being able to have something to silence us. I felt like I needed to be quiet and listen more. So because I was just going through life always feeling like I had to say something or over explain myself, because I felt like I needed the validations from people. And once I realized that if nothing I could ever have done to make people always appreciate me, the more I tried, the more I felt like I was failing them, the more I did something more wrong. It felt like it became draining. So that part of myself was saying,
Yes.
what, you got to find something that's going to make you feel where you need to be. You can't please everyone around you, So I think the level when I turned 40, that was something that clicked, you know, being in a
Hmm.
bad relationship, choosing bad partners. And all of that was a reflection of how I saw myself. All of that
Mm.
was a reflection of what I
Yes.
felt I deserved, how I sentenced myself in life, how I felt like, I don't deserve this. Or then I'll say, oh, I deserve this. But then I felt I didn't. Really, I didn't. I remember going out with people that were elite, people that had nice things, and I felt like they were stiff. But then I had wanted to be around people that was a little bit more loud, free, because
Hmm.
a part of me didn't feel like I deserved to be around the people that were elite or they had their things together, because I really didn't have mine together. Even though people looked at me, Mr. Hill, and said, you should be around these kind of people, I didn't see it in myself.
Mm. Right.
They said, oh man, I can
Hmm.
see you going, with really nice people, up class people. And I'm like, nah. I felt like I like being around low vibrational people because I was low vibrational. And when I say
Oh.
low vibrational,
Hmm.
it's because I
Yes.
didn't feel like I deserved to be around that type of people that were mentally healthy wise, spiritually healthy wise, financially, on a level of. So I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't deal with my own mess. Even though I knew, because I kept being around it, something kept saying, you are predestined to be this. This is something you're supposed to be in life. Not that you're trying to be around just rich, because that's not what I'm looking at, but you want to be around people that are healthy, and you deserve that. And that intimidated me to be around people that was healthy, right? Because I wasn't. And so that I feel like we choose based on what we see in ourselves. And it's a Bible, scripture in the Bible says, bad company creates bad habits. You know, and I started to be around more people that were doing bad things. And I started picking up some of those habits, thinking to myself, man, where did this come from? And it's because you're around people that are doing it. But if you surround yourself with people that want or going after great things, just imagine yourself being surrounded by people that stagnate, and all of a sudden you say, why can't I just go nowhere? Because you're around that. So, you know, one of the questions you got to ask yourself, you know, I remember this young man said, see your future and you'll see your future based on who you're around a lot. And it's funny because you will. You around somebody who's always stagnant, you wonder why you ain't got it together. You can't seem for some reason to get this together because you're constantly accompanying people that are not where you are mentally and spiritually. And that's when the disconnect got to happen. And it hurts sometimes, especially if you've been around someone for years or you've been friends with someone for years, to have to say, man, I got to part ways with this person because maybe they not going to get it. Or they may get it. Maybe it's not time, but you are responsible for your happiness, not for theirs. You have to be able to make a decision whether you want to be happy. And that's the part of facing your own trauma, your hurt, your pain. And it ain't easy. I would never tell anyone that facing is easy. Me writing this book even shook me. There was levels where tears came down that I had to visit. There was levels that, you know, I didn't know how to explain. I just let the typing go, and I just began to let my feelings of what I experienced. And I knew that this is for someone else. So I definitely feel the book will be an experience. It's not a level of, because someone wrote a review, said, you know, I cried, I laughed, you know what I'm saying? But it's an experience. And I think that, and its audience is an audience that is in that experience, that wants that experience. Everybody, it's a small book, but it's something in it. It means a lot. It might be small, but it's a lot in it. So if you ain't putting it down a little bit and be like, dang, man, I ain't really, I ain't think about it like that. Or if you're just reading through it, you're just reading it. Actually gravitate to that thing, that experience, because I think it's going to bless everybody. And it blessed me. It blessed me as I was writing it, because I knew it wasn't just for me, but it's for other people to be blessed with. So.
Oh yes, that was definite. And I'm glad you made a statement about that. It's like we want to better ourselves, and for some reason, I don't know what it is within us that we choose to alter wanting to better ourselves. It's like we in denial. We know it's there. It's like another form of void, a void in us. For some reason, we know we can better ourselves, but we don't go for it, and then we regret it later.
Yes.
You know, like earlier when we talked about earlier when you mentioned about the which I was glad to hear about the going to bed. We get up and then we end up going right back to bed.
Yeah.
It was like, what is that? You know, going back to bed.
Yeah, I was talking about that with you, because I remember waking up one day not wanting to face, because there was so much going on, and I felt so overwhelmed. I just like, oh my God. I got up and walked to the living room. It's like, I'm just going back to bed. I don't even want to deal with this today. I'm just going not today in it at all. Today is not about today me. I don't want to deal with today. So I'm going back to bed. It's a level of how do you coping, right?
Okay.
And coping can be big, because how do you cope? That's what you got to ask yourself. What do you do to cope with things? Are you sleeping through it? Are you just going through life on autopilot and not facing those things because you don't want to cope? Moments that you have to cope is moments you got to face that. And that's and people don't want to face it because it hurts. The feel, not wanting to
Yes.
feel. I think that a lot of times, based even in right now, with all this technology, is taking away from that part of ourselves, right? Don't you feel like
Yes.
that? Like it's taken away from us communicating with people. It's taken away from
Yes.
us learning how to be emotionally connected and available. It's women out there that's being more unemotional than men. I've heard men say, she has no level of emotions.
Mhm.
How? Right? She's a woman. How
Right.
does she lack
Yes.
that? Right? But with the
Right.
technology
Yes.
going on, what you're hearing, women are gravitating more to, I don't need no this and that. All of a sudden, want to be unemotionally available, and because they're being trained to think that that's being strong, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? It being
Yes.
emotionally
Yes.
unavailable is not being strong. Being toxic is not cute. It's nothing. So all this media that we are around is training us to not be who we really are. So expressing
Yes.
ourselves sometimes can be difficult because we don't. That we're not. We have all this technology. That's what I was talking about in my book about. Getting rid of the phones at the table when you eat dinner.
Yeah, that's
Not
another
having the
thing.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting rid of the phones, because how do you teach
Mhm.
your children how to communicate if they're not talking? Y'all don't even know how to talk. Everybody's doing this. They're eating, and it's like,
Mhm.
what happened to, how was your day? Well, how did this go? And then, and it might seem like it's TV-ish, like, we used to see in the TVs, and
Uh-huh.
how was your day, mom? How was that fast? But honestly, how did your children supposed to communicate if you ain't showing them? And then, you got these young kids that don't even know how to talk to anyone because they don't
Yes.
get a chance. They don't have opportunity to. The technology has trained us that way. So being that, we really
Mhm.
got to get out of that sync of the way things are going, even though we're able to face things right now. You got to really take
Mhm.
yourself, you got to disconnect yourself in some kind of way and plug yourself up to what really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to
Yes.
really do it, because that's the only way you're going to really come to who you truly are. And I think that's very important. And when I say, and I might talk a very metaphoric, but those that may listen to me would definitely feel understanding what I'm saying. When I say disconnect yourself, meaning from things that is distracting you. And if
Well,
that's the
you. Uh-huh.
technology, right.
Well, no, no,
Yeah.
but
So
actually,
go ahead. I'm
you're
sorry.
right. I'm just validating that because you're right. I was just thinking you said that. I'm like, man, nobody watch Soul Food or anything like that. We
Yes.
notice nowadays, because I can remember a day where everybody used to sit at the table, but
Right.
nowadays it's hard to even come to the table. And if you do, you won't disconnect yourself from this technology that
Yes.
you're zombifying yourself in a way where now even our dining room table becomes collects dust.
Yep.
Nobody sits there and eat no more.
Nobody's
They'll
sitting there.
take their plate or sauce or whatever and go
Yep.
some corner with their phone,
Yeah.
even into the bathroom, and sit there and
Yes.
eat.
Yeah.
And but they're mostly on the phone. It's like, where
Yes.
did our mind go? What we are lost in the reality of world. We're in a
Yes.
virtual reality. It's like we can go anywhere as long as we have this communicative type thing in front of us. Whether it's a phone or a tablet or or the glasses today, the
Yes.
type that the computer
Mm-hmm.
thing is inside it. And
Yes. And the glasses now. Yes, I agree.
yeah,
It's
and that's a
everywhere.
whole.
And
Mhm.
and people didn't understand, because I remember taking myself off of social media for a while. Like I said to myself, because every time I was scrolling, I was seeing something that was affecting me, right? And I talk
Yes.
about that in the book, like being able to disconnect yourself from those things, those technologies, taking a break, leaving your phone for a minute and going to, go have breakfast by yourself. And, knowing that, back in the day, we didn't have to have a phone. We had pay phones. Remember, that was the
Yes.
emergency. You got maybe on the answer
Oh
machine,
yes. Yes.
we act like we're gonna miss something if we don't take the phone.
Hmm.
What are you gonna miss? So when I started finding myself scrolling, I was seeing a lot of posts that was just like affecting me, negative
Hmm.
and stuff that I was just like, oh my God, who did I friend? Right?
Yeah, that's a
And
whole
and
nother
then
thing too.
right, so that plays a
Hmm.
big part, So I ended up deciding I'm taking a break from social media. I need it. I really wanted to only do social media, to be honest with you, for my book. I am not
Yes.
big on it like that because it can affect you, you know. But I said if I ever wanted to actually get back on like social media or anything, it would actually be
Hmm.
promote something that I want to do versus because it's just it's corrupting. And I've got caught up in it. I've had to pull away from it because it will
Hmm.
affect you. I remember telling my husband, I was like, I'm gonna take a break. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yes.
just it's and he may not didn't really understand. He's like, what's going on? Everything. I'm like, I think I'm an empath, so I started to feel more of the shifting of things, and it was affecting me
Very
and
good.
what I was doing. So what that's what I'm saying. Everything that you're doing, if it's something you're doing, is something distracting you, even if it's social media, or even if it's somebody that you
Hmm.
always talk to that's not ever that supportive friend, but you've been friends with for 20 years, and they've always in a
Yes.
stuck space. And every time you talk to them, you can't even share your dreams and goals because you always downing yourself for, watering yourself down because you don't want to seem like you up there because you always got to water yourself down, dumb yourself
It's
down.
good. It's
That's
good.
not a good thing to be in.
Yeah.
So whatever's making you not connect to where your truth is, then it's time for you to let it go. And that's the way I looked at it,
Yes.
and it became lonely for me, like it was a lonely walk for me at first. But once I realized, like, I have so much peace now, like,
Hmm.
it's so much peace just to be able to be away from all the extra, from people, from things that's not deserving of my energy, not deserving of my higher self and who I'm becoming, the woman I'm becoming.
Yes.
If it's not serving that person of who I'm becoming, I don't want it. So,
Very good. No, you're telling around. Just thinking about that. Looking within ourselves, and I just kept thinking over and over. So you know what? That's a good point because all the elements that we deal with, and you'll be able to, like you said, the yoga and things like that. It's better to have positive curriculum. And the thing is that, and I'll reopen this again. The age bracket at times, like, okay, she's in her 40s, I am in my 60s, but it's almost like saying late bloomers. But
hmm
the interesting point, or I say part about that, is all those years that we spent growing into stagnation, and still inside us, we're trying to figure out, is that it? Is that all that we are? And then we
yeah,
put ourselves in an environment and an environmental surroundings of people, placing things that either feel the same way
hmm
or puts us in a position that we feel like we can't pull ourselves away from, and we
yeah,
start doing the same things they do, which is
yes,
not conducive for us. And
right,
then we find out that we're not bettering ourselves. We have lowered our standards unintentionally, but and the reason why I say unintentionally is because when we feel that we could do better and
right,
don't do better, we had succumbed to a depression where we stay stagnated, and to the point that stagnation piles up like a pile
yes.
of trash until we can't take it no more, and we don't know what to do.
Right.
My camera was tapping me. Yeah,
Oh,
he tapped me for something. Give me a second. Give me a second. He was just tapping me going like this. And I was
oh.
like, yeah. He just looked at me something at the store. Give me a second. Yeah, been with me over, I think, 15 years or something, 15, 16 years. Yeah, give me a second. Go ahead, just sit
Yeah,
back
so
down.
you understand him
Good.
definitely.
Oh, yeah, we understand each other. And it's funny. They say, what say, service animals and stuff like that. He's like family to
Right.
me. And it's interesting that these are part of the positive curriculums that I enjoy, that helps me find myself. And
Mm,
that is a good point because it's like the exercise. I need to do that. The be able to gravitate to things more. It's funny because when you set up the phone, when I put the phone down and I say, you know what, and step away, and I step away from social media in a way where I started disconnecting myself from a bunch of people
right.
I don't even know because they ain't got
Yeah.
nothing positive to say. It's just the same
Nothing
drama,
positive to say.
same craziness, and I'm
Yes.
and I'm caught up in something I don't even know what I'm caught up in. And I'm like,
Right,
really,
right.
really, and,
That's true.
beyond the likes, beyond the hit the
Hmm.
likes button, it's something else. And I have to wait a minute. I don't know these people, and my
Yeah.
mind is seared to a virtual world that when
Hmm.
I sat it down and I walked out and looked outside, after a while, I go, man, what is this? In other words, I didn't realize that I have moved my own self, my own way of thinking, my own standard in life, which I didn't even have
Hmm.
one, which I thought
Right.
it was, that I could have had a better life than the one I had before. I could be a better
Mm.
person, not to just
Yeah.
everybody else. But like I say,
Right.
I don't have to validate, have anybody to validate me.
Right.
I need to be able to validate myself because
That's
their
it.
validation may not be right for me.
That's it.
They'll validate me on something wrong and I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
No, something inside me already know is wrong. I'm
Yeah.
just going with the flow, which I know I'm not supposed to go with the flow. But stagnated myself so much that the word no doesn't have meaning anymore. And I
Mm.
need to establish that no, I need to stop doing what I'm doing. I need to change. I need to get my health together because
Right.
everything is, that everything's emotional, and emotional becomes that like overeating you were saying before.
Right.
We can overeat or undereat, and
Yeah.
we eat to when we start bloating out from the eating, we get into depression. That becomes our own physical abuse. We
Mm.
abuse from emotional to
That's
physical.
funny that you said that. Oh my gosh. That's so funny
Hmm.
because I was just saying that even from parents what they feed their children. Sometimes people don't
Yeah.
understand. And if you have an overweight child, they look at that now as abuse. What do you think they're looking at when you're doing it to yourself? All these things
Mm.
that we do, that we tear ourselves up, but we have to ask ourselves, where is this coming from? Because
Yes.
I talked about a book. I had a relationship with food.
Uh-huh.
Me and food, I felt like you can't disappoint me. You know what I'm saying? I ate when I was happy. I ate when I was sad. I ate when I was bored. Every part of my emotions, I ate. And I
Isn't
realized
that something?
where is this really coming from, right? Because it's
Hmm.
not the eating that's the problem. It's something within underlining that's the problem, right? And
Yeah.
that's like people that drink or
I
they,
think,
smoke cigarettes, whatever habit is something that's underlying
yes.
that brings that. And that's the part you have to visit. You know, my paintings and sitting there and I would look at my paintings and think to myself like, I don't think I'm good enough, right? Because I thought about it at the point
Hmm.
because I was used to feeling my parents making me feel like I wasn't good enough. So that trained thinking came from allowing my parents to make me feel that way, right? You have to change, you have to retrain your mind. I think you have to unlearn that. We talked about unlearning those things.
Yes.
Yeah, you would learn to say, well, man, it's all right. No, it's not just all right. It's good, right? Why not?
Right.
It's not good to you. What are you doing? What makes you feel like you're not good enough? So, and
Very
people
good.
battle with
Yes.
that. Yes, people
As a
battle
matter of
with that.
fact,
So,
uh-huh.
mhm.
No, as a
Go
matter of
ahead.
fact,
Go ahead.
I need to share everybody. She's also an artist. Yes, she has painting. She does paintings. She's also an artist. So that's and she has some of her work inside her book in the back. So you take a look at it. But yes, she is an artist as well. So I'm glad she mentioned
Thank
that
you.
because these are these positive things that you're doing for yourself in your life. It's funny that you know what I would. It's so much. It's so vast. I almost say, do you have
Mm.
another book like this? A part two or something. But it's so vast. But it's not, and that's what I love. Her book is raw and it's not with experience, and it's not complicated. Okay, it's for us to look in the mirror at ourselves, or look within ourselves, and she's also sharing that it's not too late, whether from the depression or the obesity, which causes depression, stuff like that, or the uh, 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 you know, being with the wrong crowd and not realizing that you're with the wrong crowd. You do have to. It's not sometimes. When you realize that, you do have to step away, or you won't be able to step away too long, if you know what I mean. because your
Yeah.
tendency to realize that you're doing a lot of negative things, and it's not even you. You just go along with the flow. You know, it's
Yeah.
a what it says it's a bad company, bad credit, something like that. I forgot how that term
Yeah.
went.
Bad company creates bad habits.
Bad habits, yes,
Yes.
yes. And we get stuck with that, and then we go home, and then whether at home or we go somewhere and come back home, the same thing. What are we
Yeah.
doing? And that
Yeah.
term you use, stagnation. That stagnation, we stagnate ourselves to a point. We do have to find out what are we really doing, and that's why I
Yeah.
love that finding my own truth is where it shares like to us the narrative is finding our own truth for all of us. We need to find ourselves and see what we're doing or where we're at before it's too late.
Definitely.
And what she's sharing with both our ages combined, it's never too late. So go ahead, go ahead. You
Never.
got the floor.
I definitely, and I agree with you on that because I feel like we as people feel that age is a wall. I'm too
Yeah.
old, and I'm this and that. Um, I've seen people do the greatest works when they got older. And
Hmm.
sometimes that those things that we go through have made great things happen. We have created great masterpieces just from what we've been through. So
Yes.
let take those experience and make be allow it to be a canvas. You just be the brush it and make that stroke and do it and do. When I say make, you become your own artist based on what you've been
Mm,
through. And I do feel, and
I
that
like
was the
that.
reason why when painting became great for me, it was more for me to see that in my life I have become my own artist by my decisions I'm making, by this, what I'm saying, how I see things. You
Hmm.
have to, but it's all starting in the moments you decompress those, decompression, and you
Very
deal,
good.
you calm yourself and you find your own ways of dealing or your outlets, have we talked about earlier, like the outlets in the wall. What are you plugging yourself into here? There's some about the social media. Are you plugging yourself into
Yes.
social media on why you stuck and you're not doing what you're supposed to do because you're so busy scrolling? It's easy to get caught up in that because
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
almost like hypnotizing. You ever seen that? I've been
Oh,
stuck
it
there because
is. It is.
I've watched reels after reels after reels after reels, and next thing you know, it's like, oh my god, I gotta, it will get you stuck. So
Yeah, we
you
do become
really gotta,
hypnotized by it.
yeah, you really get
Yeah.
hypnotized. That's really something that this system is really trying to make us do because a lot of us got so many great things to do. I feel like that the
Mhm.
technology is trying to take that away from make people being who they truly supposed to be. Because if everybody was to, people was to really, really see and out their true authentic selves,
Yes.
man, there'll be some powerful moves made from a lot of people.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things that people can be doing, but because they're so distracted by the noise, we talk about the noise,
Oh, that.
what is your
Yes.
noise?
Yes.
What's your noise? Is your noise the society, what they're saying? Is your noise what your family told you? Is your noise is your own thinking? What is your noise? What's distracting you? What's taking you away from your purpose? And that's when we're coming and finding. Finding is searching. So when I said finding my own truth, I searched. I've tried it out. I've read it. I read things to relate to me. I found ways to deal with me. So where's yours? That's my thing. Finding yours.
Yours.
Because
Yes.
we all have a truth. Everybody has a truth. And for anybody to make anyone feel bad about their own truth, it's not. That's not a. I don't want to be around that because
Very
I'm not
good.
here to judge anybody. If
Hmm.
whatever's helping working for you and it's healthy and it's making you great, hey, more blessings to you. You know what I'm saying? But don't
Yes.
knock me because this is my truth and I'm confident about it, right? So
Yes.
I could encourage anybody. Stay strong, stand strong on your truth. You can't go nowhere but up with that.
Very good. And on that note, she left that powerfully strong with us. I'm definitely going to have you back on the show with us. And once we finish building rebuilding our studio once again, and I'm going to have you come on board. Um, Again, the QR code's on here, and as a matter of fact, her book, Finding My Own Truth, she's at a global distribution level. That's her book's at a global distribution level. So even though it's on Amazon, but it's Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, uh, uh, PAL booksellers. Sooner or later, we'll be seeing it at the Walmart or Targets. Um, Also in the United Kingdom, like Blackwell. So it's just to let you know how far in global distribution level her book is that. So the QR code, it's standard for the Barnes and Noble, but I want to see if they can have one to put one for for Amazon because everybody goes there. But I'm
Right.
trying to see if they can have one popped up, and it's probably already on the screen. I'm not sure, but for Barnes and Noble as well. Okay, because there's a lot of
I
new
know if
stipulations coming in.
you could type it in because I checked it and it's in there. It pops up pretty fast. It actually pops up fast in Amazon. Barnes and
Okay,
Noble do. Yeah, so it
good,
pops up pretty
good,
fast. Yeah,
good. So when you
definitely.
utilize Barnes and Noble, okay, and then when I say global distribution, because it's there, this type of book is validated. Nowadays, there's a lot of books that you don't know what you're getting because there are publishing houses that are publishing houses that doesn't read or publishes books. They don't even know what type of book that's coming out from their establishment. And
Right.
yet this book is validated not only across through our published house, ASA Publishing Corporation, but it's validated through the whole entire data system, validated through the other distribution networks and printing houses, and that is why we say global distribution is where it stands at. So it's not just limited to one spot, or shall I say, limited to just Amazon.
Yeah.
And to let you know, to top that off, Hudson booksellers in their airport booksellers in their are not looking for hers to be there available too. Hudson booksellers in their own contract, and I have nothing against nothing against Bezos or Amazon because one day I'd love to be that astronaut, one of the astronauts or one of the Blue Origin or something, or just like Elon Musk and Richard Branson, with
Right.
their spacecrafts. What I'm saying is that there are stores now besides them in their contract that do not accept Amazon books because now that's not from me. That's in their contract now from 2025 to 2026. They will not accept these books because they are coming from publishing houses that don't read books. I call them just book printers. I don't know why they say publishing houses, but book printers that don't read books and they don't know what they're getting. They just print them out
Okay.
as is. So when I say validating, I'm saying because she's on a global distribution level. Yeah, I'm preaching it now. They are on a global distribution level that her books are accepted at Barnes and Noble and all these other places around the world. Because it always starts off with a database system, and then there's a thing called depository. So I don't want to get to all that stuff. I just let you know that wherever you go to, besides just the QR code or QR codes, that you can be able to pick up her book so you can find your own truth as well. And I love that, finding my own truth. And you use that statement to yourself saying, finding my own truth. You will be able to find your self-worth from the think about it. What is your self-worth today? As a matter of fact, so I love this book, Finding My Own Truth. What is your self-worth? So I want all of you to think about that today. And again, Elizabeth Richards Adams, congratulations on your new marriage and everything. Congratulations on the family. And,
Thank
and,
you.
and welcome to Michigan. I'll say
Yes.
welcome to Michigan in general.
Yes, I
So,
came up here just in
yes,
time.
yes. So we're looking forward to
We've been
more
having a
great things
winter.
from you. Oh, yes, yes. We're looking for more great things from you. We're looking to hear some reviews, and any reviewers out there, with the podcast and everything. I know that in that part of the level with social media, that not only she's validated from here, at our APN TV Media Multiplex, or you go to apntvmedia.com, that she's also, after we're validating her, like we have to validate with directors now for people who go into movies. Their books go from books to film. We also validating her with her book, Finding My Own Truth, and put a review up for her as well. Okay. Anything you would like to say
Yes.
to your viewers and readers?
I'm excited about the book. I think the book is going to do a blessing to a lot of people. I blessed my son. He was
Yes.
the one that designed the cover, Zolo Tubbs. He did a great job. The book
Oh,
is very
yes,
catchy
yes.
eye. The cover is absolutely beautiful. So I'm super proud of what we have to offer with the book, and just read the book. It's an experience. I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. Definitely find your own truth. It's a map to finding that. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, her son named Zolo. He did the cover of this book. He's another rising star coming up. So his illustrations are dynamic. All right, then. On that
Yes.
note, we're looking forward to see you again, and we'll see everybody next
Yes.
week.